I've been in the car business a long time. One of the things that I find that's important in any business, it's also important in life, is how are you going to fit your culture into what you're going to do in business and what you're going to do in life, and some of the times, and to do culture the correct way. And a lot of times, there's a lot of people out there with a lot of things. Everybody talks about social media now, and everybody wants to follow your life on social media. And I don't think it works that way, as some of the other speakers have talked about. And when you walk through those things, the three things I've talked about, that are on there, they're in there, it's do what's right. And on the do what's right scenario, I think when you're 4 or 5 years old, you knew right from wrong. And I think maybe we need to instill that back into people who are a little bit older now, that some of the times they want to, turn that into a gray area, and it's not this and it's not that. I think everybody knows right from wrong. And when you're running a business or your life, you got to figure that out. The second one, running a business, is a commitment to excellence. Who wants to have somebody working for you that's not committed to excellence? So, and then how do you hold them to, accountable to do those things? The last one, of the three core values that I like to have on there, is treat others how you want to be treated. And I'd probably ask somebody out there is, who wants to be treated bad? There's nobody who wants to be treated bad. But as we go through life, we have the opportunity to treat people correctly, and we also have the opportunity to treat people incorrectly. And when I'm running a business or running my life or in my family world, man, don't you want to treat people right? And sometimes it's really hard to do, but it's kind of like at the grocery store. The guy and I moved here from Phoenix, so in Phoenix we didn't really have this, but the grocery store guy that packs your groceries at the grocery store, do you treat that guy correctly? Do you treat him the same as the president of the bank, or do you take him for granted, or you just run over top of him? And it kind of tells you a lot about a person if they run over top of those people, if they're more important than you are. And those three items that I try to do on a daily basis to do that. A couple of other things, I'll unpack a couple, three items here where I want to walk through if I have enough time, and it looks like I probably will, I hope. But, the first one I talk about, and there's 7 items in there. The first one that I'll talk about is The Buck Stops Here. It's by Harry Truman, and probably everybody knows where Harry Truman's from. and what does the buck stop here mean to everybody? What is it running a business? What is it in your personal life? It's called making a timely decision. You think when Harry Truman, because Harry Truman's the only human being that dropped a nuclear weapon on anybody. And how do you make that decision? Did he have anybody else? Yes, he had a few people, but at the end of the day, what do you have to do? He made that decision himself without a lot of other people around. And I guess at the end of the day, all of us are here today because of the decisions we made yesterday. Whether you like it or not, you're where you're at today because of the decisions you made yesterday. And some of the time you can hide behind that and say, well, this is unfair, that's unfair. But at the end of the day, didn't you make all the decisions? Didn't everybody make a decision today to get up and be here? So we made that decision today. We also made bad decisions, as we've had other speakers today talk about. You've made bad decisions in your life. The good thing about that is what? Tomorrow's a new day, so guess what I can do tomorrow? I can make another new decision. So hopefully I can make better decisions as I go through that. The second one we talked about, and a couple people have talked about this, is I'll seek wisdom. We're not here by ourselves. We need other people to be able to do what we need to do. And who are they? And I heard somebody said he had his own. I've got my own board of directors. They don't even know who they are because I get advice from them. They don't even know it. So I call them, talk to them, ask them questions. And that's my I'll seek wisdom. If we're walking through earth here, we got to seek wisdom from other people. We can't just do it all by ourselves. And that's the scenario, is everybody in life has to have some board of directors to go through. The last one is probably why I'm in Springfield, Missouri, moving from Phoenix, from Iowa, is I'll persist without exception. It's a guy named Andy Andrews. And no one in the room here knows who Andy Andrews is. You know, he's an author. I've been fortunate to meet him probably 15, 16, 17 years ago, had dinner with him, listened to his story, which his story, if all of us would listen to his story and to see where he got to, we'd be probably amazed. He wrote a book called Traveler's Gift, and the Traveler's Gift book is about successes in life. And Andy Andrews' successes in life for him, it took him 51 times to get a book published. And I'd ask everybody in the room, if it was passionate for you, how many times would you do that? Would you go there 51 times? Probably not. You'd probably go there. The average is like 4 or 5 times where people say, hey, I'm done. I got to move on to something else. So he did it 51 times. But to add to the story on him is that he was a homeless person. His parents both died within 6 months. He lived when I had dinner with him, he said he lived in L.A. I didn't know who he was. And then he said L.A., and he goes, Lower Alabama. And so his story, as you walk through that, is that he was able to write a book, a New York best-selling Times book, that has changed people's lives. And to end and wrap everything up on that is, you know, I think my life in business culture overlaps into my personal life always. And the culture creation is a journey and a process, not a destination. And you've got to commit to it daily. And if you commit to it daily, you can find out where you want. So anyway, thank you for the time. Thank you to Great Southern. I appreciate it. And thank you.